My name is Kieran Lang, and I will be doing the Steve Moore versus Todd Bertuzzi case that stems from an event that happened in March of 2004 during the National Hockey League suspension, or season, rather. Um, what this was first off, the court was, and it only was in one court. It was a $68 million lawsuit from Steve Moore to Todd Bertuzzi. Um, It was in the Ontario Superior Court. This is the only court it was in. Um, and it was what happened was during a game earlier in the 2003-2004 NHL season, rookie Steve Moore hit the Vancouver Canucks captain up high, resulting in concussion, and knocking the Canucks captain out for many games during the rest of the season. And following that game, the Vancouver Canucks decided to threaten rookie Steve Moore, saying next time the two teams met that Steve Moore would regret what he did. Um, and immediately there's all this discussion on, well, they threatened him, what's going to happen, and then they would meet again in March of 2004, where nearing the end of the game, Todd Bertuzzi skated behind Steve Moore and followed suit on those threats, punching Steve Moore in the back of the head with a gloved fist, knocking Steve Moore out on impact, who then hit his head. Steve Moore had a neck injury and a very, very severe concussion from the situation. To this day, Steve Moore still suffers from memory loss, dizziness, lack of focus, and headaches. Steve Moore's career was ended. It was his rookie year, and Todd Bertuzzi ended his career. What the end result was of this case was that it was filed in 2004. I believe it ended in early 2010s, maybe 2012. Todd Bertuzzi did plead guilty. He was suspended for many NHL seasons. He would eventually come back, and he was also suspended from international hockey play. With this, there isn't a lot of information that came out after the court reached its decision, so we don't know exactly what happened. It was a $68 million lawsuit, but Todd Bertuzzi rather, did have to pay Steve Moore's group, and he did have to work some community service hours. This was deemed unsafe by the laws of the game. It was an assault and battery charge, and Todd Bertuzzi, what he did was deemed malicious. It was deemed not premarital. What? It was deemed to have been predetermined that he was going to do this. It was with full intent. The team threatened Steve Moore. So if someone were to say that, oh, this wasn't predetermined, it was a plan from when they met earlier in the season. It was a matchup between the Colorado Avalanche and the Vancouver Canucks, and the game was pretty much over. For me, in my own opinion, to not just end a young man's career who's only in the age range from 18 to 20 as a rookie in the NHL, you not only ended a man's career, you ended a man's normal life. If you're still suffering 16 years later from memory loss and headaches and dizziness and loss of focus, you changed a man's life in the wrong way. So I think Todd Bertuzzi should have had to pay more than he probably paid. because you're also taking away all of Steve Moore's money that he would have made over the course of his NHL career. I think he should have served more time, not just in community service, but probably in jail or prison. And I don't think the punishment was enough.